it's Feather. I just want to thank our first 50 subscribers for joining us. Thank you all for your support. All three of us are greatly enjoying our time here on BookTube, and we've met so many great people and we've had so many great conversations with all of you, and it has overall been so much fun, and I'm so glad we are a part of this community now. So today I am copying all of this video, and I'm going to be doing books that are on my bookshelf that I haven't read yet. And there's quite a bit, so maybe I should stop going to the library and actually start reading some of these books on my bookshelf. Well, the first book I have is Sister Outsider by Audre Lorde, and if I pronounced her name wrong, please correct me. This is a collection of essays and poems written by Audre Lorde, and she is a feminist, lesbian, black poet and writer. She has written essays and poems in here about ageism, homophobia, racism, sexism, pretty much everything. Any social issue that you can think of, it's in here, and I was so excited to see the description of this book, and I was so excited when I got it, and I haven't cracked it open yet. So this I'll probably have as part of my June TBR, because I think I just forgot that I had this, to be honest. Now that I remember I've had it, I'm super excited to get into it, so definitely watch for my thoughts on this in the coming months. And then I have about 4 classics that I haven't read yet. The first one is The Old Curiosity Shop by Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens is one of my favorite classic authors. I've read Hard Times, Great Expectations, A Christmas Carol, Oliver Twist, all of them being some of my favorite books. And so this one I'm sure I'm going to enjoy just as much and add it to my Charles Dickens collection. However, I just haven't gotten around to it. It's kind of big, and I just feel that I don't have time to read big books, and I don't know why. I mean, I have all the time in the world to read them. I just feel like I have so many other things going on that a big book at the end of the day seems more intimidating than relaxing. But I am excited to get to this, and hopefully in the summer I can start getting into more of my classics, since I'll have way more free time. Another classic that I have yet to read is another very big one, and that is Vanity Fair by William Makepeace Thackeray. This one is quite large, and honestly the description didn't really appeal to me that much. Originally I was picking it up because one of my friends bought another copy of this and we were going to read it together. I think this was last summer, and both of us just got so busy and we never got around to it. Maybe I'll call her up and see if she's still interested in doing something of a read along with me, and see if we can get through this summer. Then the next book is Persuasion by Jane Austen, and I'm actually going to be reading this as part of our book club in the coming future, so this one will eventually be read. And then the last classic that I haven't read, Olive is going to be a little bit upset with, but I haven't read Jane Eyre by Charles Bronte yet. Charlotte Bronte. I have not read Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, and that is... I don't know why. I've heard good things about it. I've wanted to read it. It's been on my shelf for a long time. This is actually my mom's copy, so it's kind of beat up. But yeah, I'll get around to this eventually, I guess. The next section of books that I have not read yet are some historical fiction. The first one being The Vienna Waltz by Teresa Grant. I originally picked this one up because it sounded really interesting. It's a murder mystery surrounding the Congress of Vienna, and so I was really excited to get into this until I found out it's actually part of a series, and the series is really complex. There's like publication order and chronological order, and there's time warping going on, and some aliases, so the characters are the same but they have different names. And so I looked up how you were supposed to read it, and it just seemed really complicated and complex, and I wasn't sure I wanted to get into a complex series at the time that I was reading this. I just wanted a standalone historical fiction. I might get into this once I figure out what the first book in the series is. I think this is like the 3rd or 4th book in the series, so it's not even the first book. Yeah, but maybe I will get around to this, maybe I won't. The next book is People of the Book by Geraldine Brooks. This is about a rare book expert who lives in Australia, and she is tasked with uncovering the mysteries of a rare Jewish volume that has been discovered. and this rare Jewish volume has been protected throughout the ages by a Muslim man during the, I think it was the the Bosnian War. And yeah, I think he protects it throughout World War II, and there's just a long history of how this Jewish volume has been protected through time. And I'm actually really interested in reading this, and I don't know why I haven't picked it up yet. Probably one of those ones that I just forgot that I had. And then my next two are both books by Sigmund Bauer. The first one is The Thief of Glory. This is about a 10-year-old boy who's living in the Dutch East Indies, and during the Japanese imperialist invasion, he is sent off to a Japanese camp where he and his family live. And that's pretty much all I know about this, but the premise sounded intriguing to me. The next book, also by Sigmund Bauer, is Sapphire. This is about a man who is helping a young girl named Sapphire find her mother, and there's like a whole adventure with pirates and a whole bunch of other stuff going on. I'm not really sure much about it other than that. That's just what I've read on the back. This also takes place during the buffered zone of the Panama Canal in 1909. Yeah, this one seemed interesting as well. I'll get around to it eventually. The last section of books that I have are general fiction, contemporary, sci-fi, and a hodgepodge of everything. The first one is The Betrayers by David Bezmosgis. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, but this is a book that Olive actually gave me for Christmas, and I still haven't read it yet, but I am really looking forward to it. I'm not sure exactly what it's about, but I know it's about a Jewish man who has to come to terms with events from his past, and the author has actually won the Canadian Jewish Book Award a few times, and so I'm sure that this is going to be a great book. The next book is The Kill Order by James Dashner. I read the Maze Runner trilogy. I finished that one. I thought it was okay. I've also seen the first two movies. Also thought they were okay. There were a lot of unanswered questions at the end of the trilogy, and so I actually do want to read this prequel and then the other prequel that came out recently, The Fever Code, just to see if any of my questions are answered from the series. I can't really say what this is about without spoiling The Maze Runner, but yeah, I will probably read this eventually, maybe before the last movie comes out. The next book is The Anatomy of Wings by Karen Foxley. This book, I'm not sure, again, I don't really know what it's about that much, except that it is set in Australia, and it's about a girl who is coming to terms with her sister's sudden death. And the reason I picked this up is because Marcus Zuzak actually blurbed on the back and said this was an amazing book. Marcus Zuzak wrote The Book Thief, which is one of my favorite books, and so if Marcus Zuzak says something is good, then I'm gonna assume it's pretty good. And then the final book, this is one that I am most excited about. I was so excited to get, and the reason that I haven't read it is because I was waiting for the perfect time, because I know I'm actually gonna love this book, and that is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell, and I know I'm gonna love this, and I was planning to read this while I was in college because it's about a girl who is going off to college for the first time, but then while I'm actually in university classes, I don't have time for fun reading, so I just never ended up reading it, but I'm probably gonna read this summer. And look how gorgeous it is. It has a little ribbon, and not only is the dust jacket beautiful, but let me just, you're not ready for this. Okay, so the cover is cute. It has a little coffee cup with Kath written on it. The binding is pretty gorgeous, but wait for it. The inside has fan art. Is this not gorgeous? So yeah, this book, I know this is going to be one of my favorites. I actually just know it. So I've been waiting for the right time to read it, and I think the right time is going to be this summer. I think it's time. Anyway, so that's the end of my massive stack of books that I have on my bookshelf that I haven't read yet. Thank you to Olive for giving me this idea, and thank you again to all our subscribers. I'm not sure if Olive's gonna actually film on Thursday because she's back in Alberta and I'm gonna see her this week. I'm so excited. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day.